Welcome to Talking The Last of Us, Episode 7, Left Behind. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Let's get started. Okay, this one opens up with where we left off last time with Joel. He's injured, he's hurt, so Ellie's dragging him into a house. He's basically on a bed on the ground. He's telling her she's got to go find Tommy, and he's basically, I think he's realized he's gonna die, so he's trying to get her to leave, and she's kind of conflicted on what to do. So she's heading upstairs, and that's when she has this flashback. Now, any other TV show, and even I guess this one too, when the TV shows do this, when it deviates from like a main plot point in an episode to something different, I usually consider that as filler, and it kind of annoys me. And to be fair, it kind of annoyed me here too because we want to see. I mean, Joel's sitting there on his deathbed, kind of looking like. So we want to see. Wait, we don't want to wait another week to see what happens to him. But there's some good plot points to come from this. We find out that Ellie, she was training to be basically a soldier in the Boston QZ zone. Her friend Riley escaped or disappeared for a few weeks, and she comes back, tells her that she's joined the Fireflies, and she wants to go out and take her out and have a good time. So they head out to this shopping mall that's supposedly was filled with infected, but it's not really. Turns the lights on and shows her all these things that she's never seen before, a merry-go-round. They go to the arcade, and the arcade was awesome. Like, they had Mortal Kombat 2, which just brought back so many memories just hearing the sound of that. There was a Gap store, a GameStop. They find like a Halloween store. There's some really cool little parts in the episode that I liked. But overall, it just kind of felt like it deviated from what we had last episode, where we're waiting on Joel like to see what happens, and it just sucks. We have to wait a whole nother week. But basically, Ellie and Riley are good friends, and you can tell Ellie has a crush on Riley. So at like towards the end of the episode, Ellie finds out that Riley is leaving, and this is her last night. So this is why she brought her here. So Ellie gets pissed off, leaves, and then she decides to come back and tries to get Riley to stay. Tells her, don't go, and she ends up just kissing her, and they're both happy. And then all of a sudden, in comes the clicker. And this is the one part that like it kind of bothers me. So Ellie's training to be a soldier, but yet she's got this knife and she's like stabbing this clicker in like the side and the stomach. Did I like not teach her that like to go and stab him in the head, and that's where you can kill him? And they both get bitten basically, and this is where the origin of Ellie's bite mark on her arm comes from. And they're all both crying. Ellie's smashing stuff, and Riley says, "Well, we got two choices here. We can either shoot each other and or kill each other, or we can kind of just like wait it out." And that's basically kind of where it goes back to the present day. And Ellie kind of is, I guess, they didn't kill each other, so Riley kind of wanted to wait it out and didn't give up on Ellie. So Ellie's like, "Oh well, I can't give up on Joel." So this kind of shapes where her how she takes care of him, and she runs upstairs, gets a bunch of needle and thread, sews him up, and looks like he's gonna make. Well, we know he's gonna make it, but yeah. So I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just we wanted to see last week ended on such like kind of like a cliffhanger that we wanted to continue that, and I really didn't want to get thrust back into the past. But I mean, overall, I think they did pretty good. This story came after the main game a few months as DLC, which is downloadable content, like an expansion side story. So it didn't necessarily fit in with the game right there. But it was very popular, and I know this episode is very popular too. But they did a pretty faithful job of adapting to the game to the TV. So I'd give it a good score out of that. I mean, I don't think it's definitely on for me on the lower to mid tier of episodes. It might even be the worst, which it's not bad because I mean I think this whole season has been fantastic. So like saying it's the worst of the best, I mean, is that really? It's not really saying it's bad, but overall, I thought the actress they got to play Riley was really good job. her and Bella seem to have really good chemistry. So yeah, another good episode. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen next week because there's some wild stuff in the game that happens in this time period. The next two should be two of the best of the season, that's for sure. So that's it for this week. Do me a favor, once again, hit that like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel for more Last of Us, PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR 2, and I will see you guys later. Thank you.